everybody, it's Mrs. Novoselsky. So we are now on day 8 of our trying to grow beans and grains from around the house. We've had some success. I'm very excited to show you what happened over the last couple of days. So, first one is our red beans. These are just the regular red beans, like kidney beans that you find in your cabinet. And if you look, sorry, I'm trying to show you, it's totally growing in there. I don't know why my sunshine's so bad. So this one, on this side, it's just a big root, and I cannot, for the life of me, see in there and see what it's doing. So hopefully it's going okay. But the other one, look at it. It's got a little sprout and everything. I think if it keeps going like that in a couple days, I have some dirt from a plant that died, and so I think I might go ahead and put that in there and see what happens when I put it in there. All right, let's check our other things. So we still have the wild rice. It's still doing nothing. It's a little white, so maybe it's still going to do something. I'm not sure. I'm just going to cover it back up, keep it damp, see what happens. There's no harm in keeping it in there, right? And then the navy beans that are tipped upside down against the damp paper towel, they are sprouting. Let's see if we can see in there. They are sprouting. See it in there? But it also kind of looks a little moldy. So I'm not sure if they are going to keep growing or not. But I'm going to keep them in there until it's obvious that they're either dead or ready to go in some dirt. The last thing I did, remember how the pine nuts got moldy and gross, so I threw them away? So today, or on that day actually, I replaced them in their little container. I took out the pine nuts, threw them in the garbage, and I put some red beans in. This time I put a cap on it to see if that makes a difference. I don't know. You never know. So I put some red beans in because we know that they grow because they're growing there in the baggie. And so I put them in. The paper towel is damp, and they're getting big, just like the ones in the baggie did before they started growing. Oops, it fell out, so I'm just going to plop it back in. Oh! Actually, it is starting to sprout just a little tiny bit. Here, I'm going to take it out. I'll show you. Hopefully I don't hurt it by doing this. But look. It's got a little tiny baby sprout growing on it already. How exciting. So, if you have red beans at your house, oh yeah, this one too. Look. How cool is that? That we get to see it growing. Nice. All right, so I'm going to put them back in their damp paper towels. Remember, the paper towels have to be damp or it won't work. I'm going to put them back in, put the lid back on, and then put them back in the sunny spot. So what I've learned so far is that red beans grow really well, even the ones just from the grocery store. I also am finding that something that you can seal shut, like the lid on this mason jar or a baggie that you can seal shut, that seems to be working really well as well. So I will check back. Maybe I'll put that one in dirt before I come back and record with you guys. And hopefully maybe the wild rice will do something. All right, see you guys in a couple days. Bye. Okay, guys, so we are on day 7 of science, I believe. All the days are running together. Are you having that trouble too? So what I want you to do is watch my video about what's going on with my beans. A lot of you are growing your own beans and seeds at home. So if you're doing that, you should look at yours. You can choose to do all of them. You can choose to just look at mine. You can choose to look at yours. You have many options. But I want you to look at your beans for today and then go to your science journal. You can do it on the paper science journal is fine, or you can do it on the online science journal. There's one on Seesaw as well, so you can go there as well. So you're just going to do the same thing. You guys are experts at this now. You know how to do your observations and your predictions and your questions. So make sure you write the date. Today is, I believe, the 19th of May. So make sure you write the date. Write what day you're on. So the day you planted your beans is day 1. And then count from that to see what day you're on. I think my beans might be on day 8. Because the videos are a little bit off from the actual date that's going on. but it's close enough, right? So then write what you're observing. So mine were the navy beans and the pinto beans and the pine nuts. Yours, whatever you're observing at your house or whichever one of mine. What are you noticing today? What did you see? Then, of course, the drawing. Make sure you put in the details. Make sure you put in any labels of the parts on the plant. If you aren't sure, go ahead and draw it. You can look it up on the internet. You could ask me. You can watch some videos about how plants grow. I've been including some, so you'll be able to check those out too, so you know what kinds of plants you have. And then what are your questions and your predictions? What do you think is going to happen? Now, one thing that we notice in nature, remember, our science unit isn't about growing plants. It's about noticing patterns in nature. So by looking at your plants compared to my plants, and a little bit later on, I'm going to plant some new seeds, and we're going to look at how the new seeds compared to the old seeds. And what we want to notice is there is a pattern in the way that plants grow from seeds. So let's look at some different ways that seeds grow. So this is a pumpkin life cycle. So it starts as a seed. Have you guys seen pumpkin seeds before? You can eat them after you cover a pumpkin. And you put it in the ground, and it would grow. They leave a part out. It would grow a root. Then it would grow the little sprout that comes out the top. Then that sprout grows into a long vine. Eventually, that vine gets a flower on it. The flower grows into a green pumpkin. The green pumpkin grows into an orange pumpkin. So that's a pumpkin life cycle. Let's take a look here. Here is the life cycle of a sunflower. I'm sure you guys have seen them too. They're oftentimes super tall. So you start with sunflower seeds, also a seed that you can eat. You put it in the ground and it gets the root. Then the root gets a sprout. Then it turns into a little tiny baby plant. Then it grows into an adult plant with a flower. And then it gets big, it starts to die, and the seeds fall out, and we start all over again. Do you see any way that that's similar to the life cycle of the pumpkin? Yes, I agree with you. I see it too. Now let's look here. Here's the life cycle of an apple. Inside the apple are the apple seeds, which I'm sure you've seen before. They also skip a step. First comes the root, then comes a little tiny baby seedling, which eventually grows into a tree, which then makes a baby flower called a bud, which then makes a flower, which turns into fruit, which turns back into seeds. Do you see similar? Do you see some differences? Do the pumpkin and the sunflower turn into a tree? Nope. All right, let's look at one last one. Here's the life cycle of a bean. So we start with our bean. These look very similar to my beans, my red beans. And then a little root comes out. Then it makes a sprout. Then it makes a full plant with flowers on it. And then if you look here, right here are the bean pods. So that's where the beans are. And then it starts all over again. So we have similarities and differences between. Looking at this life cycle of a bean makes me wonder, are our beans going to get flowers on them like that? I don't even know. It's interesting. It's an interesting question. So here is the work that you are going to do today. Besides writing down your observations in your science journal, you are going to put these pictures in order to show how a pumpkin grows. All you have to do is click on it, hold it down, and move it. You can even cover up the words because you know what they say. So we start with the seed, and then whatever comes next, you'll just put them in order. You can go up and down, you can go side to side. So you just move them like this. Do you see how that goes? All right. Oops. All right. Then next, I'm going to put these back because otherwise I forget, and then I send them to you guys, and they're all messed up. Then you're going to do the same thing for the apples. Just click on it and move it up and put them in the right order. We didn't have one for sunflowers, so you don't have to do that. But then you can do the same thing for the beans. All right, that's our work for today. Make sure you write down your bean observations, though, because we want to remember what's going on, and you will not remember if you don't take notes today. All right? Good luck with your beans. See you soon.